The nurse hands me our daughter, while my wife codes on the table, but the baby has green eyes. We both have brown. My hands shake as I cradle this tiny stranger against my chest. The ICU blazes with fluorescent urgency, machines screaming their electronic panic, while doctors swarm around Rachel's bed. But I can't look away from those eyes. Emerald green, bright as spring grass, staring up at me with that unfocused newborn intensity that should fill me with joy. Instead, my stomach drops through the floor. "Mr. Thompson?" Nurse Sarah touches my shoulder gently. "Your wife's stabilizing. You can breathe now." But I can't, because breathing means accepting what I'm seeing. The baby's weight feels wrong in my arms, like holding someone else's miracle. Sarah's watching me with that practiced ICU composure, but something flickers behind her eyes. Recognition, maybe, or pity. "She's beautiful," Sarah says, adjusting the pink hospital blanket. Those eyes are striking. Striking. That's one word for impossible. "Yeah." My voice comes out cracked. Must be from Rachel's side. The lie tastes like copper. Rachel's entire family has brown eyes. I've seen 4 generations of family photos. Every single pair, the same warm chocolate brown. My mother's eyes, my father's eyes, my brother's eyes, all brown. But here, cradled in my arms, green eyes blink slowly. The blood type card slips from my fingers when Sarah hands it to me. O negative can't make AB positive. "Everything okay?" Sarah asks, bending to retrieve the card. "The blood type..." I stop myself. The words feel too big for this sterile room. "Common mistake," Sarah says quickly. Too quickly. "Lab mix-ups happen. I'll have them rerun it." But we both know it's not a mistake. The way she won't meet my eyes confirms what the universe is screaming at me. This isn't my daughter. Dr. Martinez appears at the doorway, her scrub splattered with my wife's blood. "Mr. Thompson, we need to discuss your wife's condition." The baby starts crying, thin, reedy wails that should trigger some primal protective instinct. Instead, I feel hollow. Sarah takes her from my arms, and the absence feels like relief, then shame, then rage. "She's had a massive hemorrhage," Dr. Martinez explains, pulling me into the hallway. The fluorescent lights hum above us, casting everything in that particular hospital pale that makes everyone look half dead. "We've managed to stop the bleeding, but she's going back into surgery. There were complications we didn't anticipate." "What kind of complications?" "Placental abruption, severe. She's lost a lot of blood." Dr. Martinez holds out a clipboard thick with forms. "I need you to sign these. Surgical consent, blood transfusion authorization, and..." She pauses. "Decisions about life-sustaining measures if necessary." The pen weighs 1,000 pounds. "Sign here to save her life, knowing she destroyed yours." My signature looks wrong on the paper, too steady for hands that want to tear everything apart. Behind the glass, nurses work over Rachel's unconscious form, adjusting tubes and checking monitors. She looks small, deflated somehow, her face slack and pale against the white sheets. This woman I've loved for 7 years, whose favorite coffee is hazelnut with 2 sugars, who cries at dog food commercials, who told me every night for 9 months how our baby was kicking. Our baby. With green eyes. "She's stable for now," Dr. Martinez says, taking back the forms. "But the next 24 hours are critical. You should prepare yourself." Prepare myself. For my wife dying, for raising another man's child, for the complete annihilation of everything I thought was true. If you've ever felt your world collapse in a single moment, you know this feeling, the way everything becomes hyper clear and completely surreal simultaneously. I find myself in the family waiting room, my mother-in-law Sandra arriving in a whirlwind of perfume and panic. She's carrying photo albums, because of course she is, ready to document every moment of her first grandchild's life. "Oh, David, how are they? How's Rachel? How's the baby?" The questions tumble out as she drops 3 leather-bound albums on the coffee table. I brought these to show the nurses. Rachel's baby pictures. Everyone says babies look like their mothers at first. I watch her flip through pages, cooing over Rachel's infant photos. Brown eyes in every single one. Then she reaches Rachel's pregnancy journey album, the one she's been meticulously maintaining. "Look how beautiful she was at the shower," Sandra says, pointing to a photo from month 6. Rachel glowing, hands on her belly, surrounded by pastel balloons. But as Sandra flips backwards, I notice something. 3 pages are torn out, right when I was deployed overseas. "What happened here?" I ask, running my finger along the ragged edges. Sandra's face flushes. "Oh, those." Rachel said the photos didn't turn out well. Something about the lighting. You know how particular she is about pictures. Particular. Rachel, who posts every meal on Instagram. Rachel, who has 17 selfies for every occasion. Rachel, who documented every single day of pregnancy, except for 3 weeks in months 4 and 5. The exact weeks I was at Fort Carson for advanced training. No cell service, no video calls. Just emails that she barely answered because she was so tired from the pregnancy. "Mom?" Rachel's best friend Claire appears in the doorway, breathless and disheveled. "I mean, Sandra, sorry, is she okay? Is Rachel okay?" Claire won't look at me. Her eyes dart everywhere. The floor, the wall, Sandra's face. Anywhere but mine. She's wearing the same nervous energy she had when she helped Rachel hide that dent in my car 3 years ago. Except, this is bigger than a fender bender. "She's in surgery," I tell her. "Complications." Oh, God. Claire sinks into a chair, her purse spilling open. Rachel's phone tumbles out. The pink case I bought her for Christmas unmistakable. "Why do you have her phone?" I ask. She asked me to hold it. Before, when the contraction started. Claire scrambles to collect it, but I'm already reaching for it. Our hands collide over the device. "David, this isn't the time," Claire starts. "When is the time, Claire?" My voice stays level, but something in my face makes her release the phone. Her notifications are exploding. Texts from a contact labeled J Yoga. Dozens of them. "Is everything okay? Rachel, please answer. I'm worried about you and the baby. Our baby. Our baby." Claire knew. She'd known for 7 months. The room tilts. Sandra's still flipping through photos, oblivious, narrating Rachel's pregnancy journey. Claire sits frozen, tears streaming down her face. And on the phone screen, message after message from someone who calls my wife's baby ours. "David," Claire whispers. "You don't understand. It's not what—" "How long?" I cut her off. She closes her eyes. "Since January. January. When I was deployed. When Rachel was sending me ultrasound photos and picking out names. When we were painting the nursery yellow because we wanted to be surprised by the gender. Surprised? Well, mission accomplished. You need to leave," I tell Claire. My voice sounds strange, like it's coming from underwater. "David, please. Rachel loves you. It was a mistake. One time." "The messages go back 7 months, Claire." She flinches like I've slapped her. Good. Let her feel a fraction of what's ripping through my chest. Sandra finally looks up from the albums. "What's going on? Claire, honey, you look pale." "Nothing," I say, pocketing Rachel's phone. Claire was just leaving. The next hours blur together in a haze of medical updates and avoided conversations. Rachel survives the surgery but remains unconscious. The baby, I can't call her mine anymore, stays in the NICU for observation. Standard procedure, they say, though those green eyes feel anything but standard. I stand at the NICU window, watching a nurse feed her a bottle. She's so small, so helpless. None of this is her fault. But every time I look at her, I see evidence of the betrayal. Living, breathing, green-eyed evidence. My brother Mike finds me there at 3 a.m. He doesn't say anything at first, just stands beside me looking through the glass. "Sarah called me," he finally says. "The nurse. We dated once, remember? She's worried about you. I'm fine. Your wife's in the ICU and you're standing here like a ghost. He pauses. Those aren't your eyes, are they? The question hangs between us like a blade. No, I admit, they're not. Mike's quiet for a long moment. Then, what do you need? A paternity test. The words come out before I can stop them. Without Rachel knowing. Not yet. That's probably illegal. I'm on the birth certificate. I have parental rights. Rights to a child that isn't mine. The irony tastes bitter. Mike pulls out his phone. I know a lab, discreet. They can rush results in 24 hours. Rush results available in 24 hours. Did I really want to know? But I already know. The eyes tell the story. The blood type confirms it. The torn photos, Claire's guilt, the messages from J Yoga, all painting a picture I can't unsee. Do it, I tell him. As Mike makes the call, I watch the baby sleep. She's peaceful, unaware that her very existence has destroyed a marriage, a family, a future. In 24 hours, I'll have scientific proof of what my heart already knows. The question is, what do I do with that truth? The DNA test kit arrives at the hospital the next morning, delivered in a plain brown envelope that might as well be screaming its purpose. Mike hands it to me outside the cafeteria, where the smell of overcooked eggs makes my empty stomach churn. You sure about this? He asks. I'm sure about nothing anymore. But I tear open the envelope anyway, my fingers steady despite the earthquake in my chest. Inside, 2 sterile swabs, collection tubes, and instructions that read like a recipe for destroying what's left of my denial. I need to get into Rachel's laptop, I tell Mike. Her real email, not the one she shares with me. You think there's more? Claire said it started in January. That's 7 months of secrets. I pocket the DNA kit. I need to know everything before she wakes up. Mike drives me home, our home, though it feels like a museum now. Every surface holds evidence of a life I thought I was living. Wedding photos on the mantle, her pregnancy vitamins lined up on the kitchen counter, the nursery door ajar, revealing the crib we assembled together last month while arguing about whether the mobile's elephants should face in or out. Her laptop sits on the dining room table, still plugged in, like she just stepped away. The password screen mocks me. I try our anniversary. Wrong. Her birthday, wrong. The baby's due date, wrong. Try something from January, Mike suggests. When it started? January. When I deployed. When everything changed. I close my eyes, thinking back to her emails from that time. She'd been taking yoga classes, said it helped with pregnancy stress. New year, new her, she'd written. New year, new me, 2024, I type. The screen unlocks. Her email opens automatically. The real account, not our shared one. And there, starring in the inbox like bullets, are hundreds of messages from Jake, morrisoneggmail.com. The first email makes me want to throw the laptop through the window. January 15th. Rachel, last night was unexpected but beautiful. I can't stop thinking about you. I know it's complicated with your situation, but I feel something real here. My situation. That's what Jake calls her marriage to me. I scroll forward, my brother reading over my shoulder, both of us witnessing the destruction of my marriage in real time. February 3rd. The baby could be mine. The timing matches. Please don't shut me out. March 18th. I understand why you haven't told him. Losing someone in combat is traumatic. But you need to move forward. What the fuck? Mike grabs the laptop, reading more carefully. Rachel told him you were dead? April 2. I know talking about David is painful. Losing your husband in Afghanistan. I can't imagine, but I'm here now. We're here. Let me take care of you and our baby. The last email was sent the day she went into labor, September 20th. Rachel, where are you? You were supposed to meet me after your appointment. I want to be there when our daughter arrives. I have a right to be there. Our daughter. He already knew it was a girl. He already claimed her. This Jake guy thinks you're dead, Mike says slowly. He thinks he's having a baby with a widow. The room spins. I grip the table edge, laptop keys blurring through sudden tears I refuse to let fall. She didn't just cheat, she erased me. Killed me off in her story to make room for someone else. I need to find him, I say. David, that's not... I need to know who he is, what he knows, what he plans to do. Mike helps me search. Jake Morrison, yoga instructor at the studio 4 blocks from our house. His Instagram is full of sunrise meditation posts and pictures of him in various impossible poses. Clean cut, handsome in that effortless way that probably makes suburban mothers sign up for extra classes. There's a photo from July, a group class at the beach. Rachel's in the background, her pregnancy obvious, smiling at him while he demonstrates a pose. She's wearing the necklace I gave her for our 5th anniversary. He teaches at 2 p.m. today, Mike says, checking the studio's schedule. Prenatal yoga. Of course he does. I arrive at the coffee shop across from the yoga studio at 1:45, watching through the window as pregnant women file into his class. He's there, adjusting mats, that same easy smile from his photos. No wedding ring. Probably thinks he's about to become a father to a widow's baby. The hero of his own romantic story. He emerges at 3:15, yoga mat under one arm, checking his phone, probably for messages from Rachel that won't come. I intercept him at his car. Jake Morrison? He turns, that instructor's smile automatic until he sees my face. Something in my expression makes him step back. Yes? Can I help you? I'm David Thompson. I watch recognition dawn, followed immediately by confusion. Rachel's husband. The yoga mat drops from his arm. His face cycles through emotions like a slot machine. Confusion, disbelief. Then something that looks horribly like hope. That's not... You're dead. Do I look dead to you? She said, Afghanistan. She had the flag, the papers. His voice cracks, and suddenly he looks very young. You're supposed to be dead. Let me guess. Died last December? Right before you met her in January? He sinks onto the curb, head in his hands. I should feel satisfaction watching him crumble, but all I feel is tired. We're both victims of the same lie, just from different angles. The baby, he whispers. Is the baby okay? She's fine. The word she tastes strange. I've been avoiding gendered pronouns, as if not claiming her as my daughter might hurt less. Rachel? Is Rachel okay? She's in the ICU, complications during delivery. Jake looks up at me, and the pain in his eyes mirrors my own. I loved her. Love her. I don't understand. Join the club. I sit down beside him, 2 idiots on a curb, destroyed by the same woman. Show me the messages, all of them. He hands over his phone without hesitation. Their text thread goes deeper than the emails, photos of them together. Her telling him about the baby's first kicks, him shopping for cribs, sending her pictures for approval, building a whole life on the foundation of my supposed death. She showed me your death certificate, he says quietly. Military documentation, photos from the funeral. Those were from my grandfather's funeral, 3 years ago. I recognize the images now. Rachel had cropped them, edited them. She's nothing if not thorough. I wanted to marry her. Jake's voice breaks completely. After a respectful mourning period, I bought a ring. He pulls out a small velvet box. The diamond's bigger than the one I could afford 7 years ago. I almost laugh at the absurdity. She played us both, I tell him. But that baby in the NICU? She's innocent. Whatever happens next, we keep her out of this mess. He didn't know she was married. She told him I died. What are you going to do? Jake asks. I don't know. It's the first honest thing I've said all day. But you need to stay away, at least until I figure this out. She's my daughter, biologically maybe, but legally I'm on the birth certificate. I'm the presumed father. You're just the yoga instructor who slept with a married woman. The words are cruel, but necessary. Jake flinches, but nods. He understands the position he's in. The position Rachel put him in. Will you tell me how she is? The baby? I study his face, earnest, destroyed, genuinely concerned. In another life, we might have been friends. In this one, we're connected by betrayal and a child with green eyes. I'll think about it. I leave him on the curb and drive back to the hospital. The DNA swabs burn in my pocket, waiting. I stop at the NICU first, watch the nurse change the baby's diaper. She's so small, so perfect. Her eyes are closed now, but I know what color they'll be when they open. The lab tech arrives at 4 p.m., discreet as promised. He takes my sample in the hospital bathroom. How's that for dignity? Then slips into the NICU with fake credentials Mike arranged. Watching him swab the baby's cheek feels like betrayal, even though I'm the one betrayed. 24 hours, he promises, email and hard copy. I spend those hours in purgatory, floating between Rachel's room and the NICU. Sandra brings more photos, chattering about family resemblances she's imagining. Claire texts apologies I delete unread. And somewhere across town, Jake Morrison probably stares at his phone, waiting for news about a daughter he might never know. Rachel wakes up at midnight. I'm alone in her room, having sent Sandra home. The heart monitor announces her consciousness with quickening beeps. Her eyes flutter open, unfocused at first, then finding me in the chair beside her bed. David? Her voice rasps like sandpaper. The baby? Is the baby okay? Not our baby, just the baby. She whispered, Is the baby okay? Not our baby. She's fine. Green eyes, like you always wanted. I watch her face carefully. Something flickers there. Fear, relief. She tries to sit up, winces, falls back. Green? But that's... She stops herself. Impossible, since we both have brown eyes? I lean forward. That's what I thought too. David, The DNA results come tomorrow. I pull the test receipt from my pocket, let her see it. But we both know what they'll say, don't we? The monitor's beeping accelerates. A nurse appears, checking readings, adjusting IV drips. Try to stay calm, Mrs. Thompson. You've been through significant trauma. Trauma. That's one word for it. After the nurse leaves, Rachel starts crying. Not the pretty tears from movies, but ugly body-shaking sobs that pull at her incisions. Part of me wants to comfort her. Muscle memory from 7 years of marriage. But I stay in my chair, watching the woman I loved become a stranger. How long have you known? She finally asks. 37 hours since I saw her eyes. I pause. How long have you known? Since February, when I miss my period, the timing, she trails off. The timing matched Jake. She flinches at his name. You met him. He thinks I'm dead, Rachel. You held a fake funeral. You showed him edited photos of my grandfather's service. You didn't mean to what? Kill me off? Have an affair? Get pregnant? Which part was the accident? All of it. The words explode out of her. I was lonely. You were gone. Jake was there, and kind, and you told him I was dead. I panicked. After the first time, I couldn't take it back. He was so caring, so concerned about the grieving widow. She laughs bitterly. It was supposed to be just once. Then I found out I was pregnant, and the dates. You knew it was his. I suspected, but I hoped, God, David, I hoped it was yours. I wanted it to be yours. She reaches for my hand. I don't move. When you came home, you were so happy about the baby, so excited. I convinced myself maybe I was wrong about the dates. But you weren't. No, the word comes out whispered. I wasn't. We sit in silence, the heart monitor providing a soundtrack to the death of our marriage. Finally, she asks, what happens now? What would you choose? Walk away from both, or raise another man's child, There's no wrong answer here. I don't know, I tell her honestly. Right now, you need to heal. The baby needs care. Everything else. We'll figure it out. Do you hate me? I consider the question. Hate would be easier. Clean, simple, directional. But what I feel is more complex. Loss, disappointment. Grief for a marriage that's been dead since January. I just didn't know to mourn it. I hate what you did, I finally answer. But hate takes energy I don't have right now. The next morning, my phone buzzes with an email. Lab results. I sit in my car in the hospital parking lot. Engine running, heat blasting against the September chill that has nothing to do with weather. The attachment opens slowly, like the universe giving me one last chance to stay ignorant. But ignorance isn't innocence, and I'm neither anymore. Probability of paternity. 0% zero. Not even a margin of error to cling to. Complete genetic exclusion. The baby with green eyes shares none of my DNA. She's Jake's daughter, Rachel's daughter, but not mine. I forward the results to Mike with 2 words. It's confirmed. Then I sit there in space 247 of the hospital parking lot and let myself break. 7 years of marriage reduced to a percentage. 0, nothing, null. The baby started crying down the hall, and I still went. Because even knowing what I know, even with scientific proof in my pocket, she's still an innocent child in the NICU. She didn't choose her parents or the circumstances of her conception. She's just new and small and afraid, crying for comfort in a sterile world. I badge into the NICU. They all know me now, the devoted father keeping vigil. If only they knew what kind of vigil it really is. The baby's crying has escalated. That newborn wail, that evolution designed to be impossible to ignore. She's having a rough morning, the nurse says. Would you like to hold her? Would I like to hold another man's child? The evidence of my wife's betrayal? The living proof that my marriage is over? Yes, I say, and mean it. She settles against my chest, her cries softening to whimpers, then silence. Her weight feels less foreign now, more familiar. She doesn't know or care about DNA percentages. She just knows warmth and safety, and the steady beat of a heart that's breaking and healing simultaneously. What's her name? The nurse asks. For the birth certificate. They need it for the final version. I haven't thought about it. Rachel and I had a list. Emma for a girl, James for a boy. Names chosen during happy evenings painting the nursery when I thought the future was certain. I need to discuss it with my wife, I say. My wife. The words feel like fiction now. But holding this baby, feeling her breathe against my chest, I realize something. Biology doesn't determine love. If it did, adopted children would never bond with their parents. Step-parents would never become real parents. Families would be limited to blood and nothing more. She opens her eyes then, those impossible green eyes, and looks up at me. Not with recognition, newborns can't do that yet, but with trust. Complete, innocent trust. Hi, sweet girl, I whisper. This is complicated, isn't it? She yawns, tiny fist curling against my shirt. In my pocket, my phone buzzes. Rachel, texting from her hospital bed. They're saying I can see her soon. Will you bring her? Will I bring another man's baby to the woman who betrayed me? Will I facilitate this moment between mother and biological child while standing there as the unnecessary third party? Yes, I text back, because whatever else is true, the baby needs her mother. And maybe, in watching them together, I'll figure out what role, if any, I have in this rewritten story. The meeting between Rachel and the baby doesn't go as anyone expects. I wheel the bassinet into her room, this tiny person who carries none of my genetics but all of my concern. Rachel's propped up in bed, IVs still threading into her arms, her face puffy from medications and tears. Can I hold her? Rachel asks, arms already reaching. I transfer the baby carefully, watching Rachel's face transform. She counts fingers, toes, studies the small face with its impossible green eyes. Then she starts sobbing, deep, gulping sobs that shake her whole body. "She looks like him," she whispers. "Like Jake, yes." She pulls the baby closer, breathing in that new baby smell. "David, I wrote you something, back in June, when I knew for sure." She nods toward her bedside table. "Bottom drawer, under the insurance papers." I find it, a sealed envelope with my name in her careful handwriting. Inside, 3 pages of her confession, dated 3 months ago. My hands shake as I read. "David, if you're reading this, it means you know. I'm a coward for not telling you in person, but I need you to understand everything, and I'm afraid if I try to speak it, I'll minimize or excuse or lie again. It started January 15th. You'd been gone 2 weeks. I was showing, just barely, and feeling so alone. The yoga class was supposed to help with pregnancy stress. Jake was kind. He didn't know I was married. I'd stopped wearing my ring because my fingers were swelling. One conversation led to coffee. Coffee led to dinner. Dinner led to me telling him you died. I don't know why I said it. Maybe because in that moment, I wanted to be someone else. Someone who wasn't waiting, always waiting, for a husband to come home. By the time I realized I was pregnant with his child, not yours, it was too late to undo the lie. He'd grieved with me, for you. He'd held me while I pretended to cry for my dead husband, when really I was crying for my living one. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I know what I've done is unforgivable. But please don't punish her for my sins. The baby is innocent. I've been putting money aside, $20,000 in a separate account. It's yours, for lawyers or leaving or whatever you need. I loved you. I know that means nothing now, but I loved you. I just love myself more, and that selfishness destroyed everything. Rachel. She'd written the letter months ago, just in case. You planned for this, I say, folding the letter. You knew I'd find out. The eyes, my family all has brown. When the ultrasound showed she was a girl, I did the genetic math. Green eyes from Jake's mother, probably. She adjusts the baby, who's fallen asleep. I hoped maybe they'd be Hazel, something explainable. But you prepared for them not to be. I prepared for the truth to come out. It always does, doesn't it? She looks at me directly for the first time. What are you going to do? I made an appointment with a lawyer this afternoon. Her face pales. Already? I need to know my options, Rachel. Legal ones. She nods, pulling the baby closer. Can I name her? Before whatever happens. I could say no. I have that power, but cruelty won't undo the betrayal. What did you want to call her? Emma, like we discussed. Emma, the name we chose together, back when we meant something. Emma's fine. My lawyer's office sits in a strip mall between a tax service and a bubble tea shop. Ms. Jennifer Chen comes highly recommended for family law. Mike's friend went through her during his divorce. She's younger than I expected, sharp-eyed behind designer glasses. Let me make sure I understand, she says, reviewing my notes. You discovered 2 days ago that the child your wife just delivered is not biologically yours. You have DNA evidence. The biological father has been identified. You're currently on the birth certificate. That's correct. And your wife was having an affair during your military deployment, told the other man you were deceased, and continued the relationship until she gave birth. Also correct. Ms. Chen sets down her pen. Mr. Thompson, I need you to understand something. In this state, you're legally the father. Biology doesn't matter. The words hit like cold water. Even with DNA proof, you're married. You're on the birth certificate. The child was born during your marriage. Legally, Emma is your daughter. If you divorce, you'll likely owe child support. You'll have parental rights and responsibilities. But she's not mine. Biologically, no. Legally, absolutely. She pulls out a thick book of state statutes. You could contest paternity, but it's complex. The court considers the best interest of the child, not the deceived spouse. And frankly, judges don't like removing fathers from birth certificates. It leaves children legally fatherless. What about Jake? The biological father? He has no standing currently. He'd have to petition the court, prove paternity, prove it's in the child's best interest. That could take years, and success isn't guaranteed. So I'm trapped. You have options. She slides a paper across the desk. You could divorce and maintain parental rights. You could divorce and voluntarily terminate rights, though the court might not allow it if it leaves the child without support. You could stay married and work through it, or you could embrace being Emma's legal father, file for primary custody. Your wife's infidelity, the deception about your death to another party, the emotional manipulation, these factors could work in your favor for custody. You're saying I could take her, Emma? I'm saying you have strong grounds for primary custody if you choose to pursue it. Your wife is currently medically fragile. She's admitted to extensive deception. The biological father has no legal standing. You're stable, employed, and the legal father. Ms. Chen leans forward. The question is, what do you want? What I want is to rewind time, to never deploy, to never leave Rachel alone, to be the biological father of the child I've been preparing to raise. But time only moves forward. I need to think, I tell her. Of course. But Mr. Thompson, don't sign anything without calling me. Not custody agreements, not financial documents, nothing. Your wife prepared for this, the letter, the money. She's thought this through. You need to be equally strategic. I leave with a folder of information and a head full of legal terminology, primary custody, paternity contestation, best interests of the child, words that reduce human pain to courtroom procedure. Sandra intercepts me at the hospital entrance, having been crying. Her mascara runs in black rivers down her cheeks. David, please, we need to talk. I don't think we do. I'm her mother. I know what she did was wrong, but you knew, didn't you? The accusation comes out flat, matter of fact. Sandra's face crumbles further. Not everything, but I suspected. The way she talked about yoga. The glow that wasn't just pregnancy. A mother knows. She knew about Jake. Mothers always know. And you said nothing. What could I say? Accuse my daughter with no proof? Destroy her marriage on a suspicion? Sandra grabs my arm. David, you're a good man. The best thing that ever happened to her. Don't let one mistake. She told another man I was dead. She had an affair for 7 months. She got pregnant. These aren't mistakes, Sandra. They're choices. Then choose to forgive, for Emma's sake. Emma, everyone weaponizes the baby, as if her existence erases the betrayal rather than embodying it. Your daughter needs to focus on healing, I tell Sandra. Everything else can wait. But everything doesn't wait. That evening, the NICU calls. Emma's having trouble breathing. They need parental consent for tests, possible intervention. I run through the hospital corridors, my feet knowing the path by muscle memory now. Dr. Patel meets me at the NICU entrance, her face grave. Emma's showing signs of respiratory distress. It could be nothing. Many newborns have minor breathing issues. But given the traumatic birth, we want to do a full workup. There's a possibility she might need surgery. What kind of surgery? There might be a small hole in her heart, ventricular septal defect. It's not uncommon and usually repairs itself. But if it's causing breathing problems, we might need to intervene. My signature on another form. Another decision for a child that isn't mine, but is legally and now medically my responsibility. Do whatever she needs, I say. They run tests through the night. I sit in the NICU, watching Emma's tiny chest rise and fall, each breath a small victory. The heart monitor beeps steadily, a mechanical lullaby. She's so small, so fragile, Jake's daughter, Rachel's daughter, but in this moment, just a baby who might need heart surgery. Rachel texts repeatedly. I send updates but don't visit her room. I can't split my focus right now. Emma needs attention, even if it's from a man who shares none of her DNA. At 3 a.m., Dr. Patel returns with results. It's a small VSD, as we suspected. We can manage it medically for now, but she'll need surgery within the month. Is it genetic? I ask, thinking of Jake's family medical history I know nothing about. Could be, or just bad luck. These things happen. She pauses. I'll need both parents to sign the surgical consent when we schedule it. Both parents, Rachel and me. Not Jake, whose genetics might have caused this. Me, the legal fiction on the birth certificate. I'll handle it, I tell her. Dawn comes slowly, painting the NICU in soft pink light. Emma's stable, sleeping peacefully after a night of tests and oxygen support. I stand at her incubator, hand resting on the plastic, when someone appears beside me. She's beautiful, he says. It's Jake. He's not supposed to be here, but somehow he's badged in, wearing visitor credentials. You need to leave, I tell him quietly. I just wanted to see her once. I heard she was sick. How did you? Claire, she felt guilty, told me about the breathing problems. He stares at Emma with wonder and pain. She has my mother's eyes. She has a heart defect, needs surgery. Jake's face pales. My brother had that when he was born. He's fine now, plays college soccer, medical history, genetic predisposition, things I should have known before Emma arrived but couldn't because of the web of lies. You still need to leave, I say, and don't come back. She's my daughter. No. My voice stays level but firm. Legally, she's my daughter. I'm on the birth certificate. I'm making medical decisions. I'm the one who's been here every day while you've been teaching yoga and planning a life with a woman you thought was widowed. That's not my fault. No, it's Rachel's fault. But Emma doesn't need complicated. She needs stable. She needs someone who can make medical decisions without court battles. She needs a father who's present, not fighting for rights. I turn to face him fully. I can be that. You can't. Jake looks at Emma one more time, memorizing her face. Will you take care of her? Yes. Even though. He nods, understanding passing between us. Then he leaves, shoulders shaking. I watch him go and feel something shift, a choice crystallizing. I signed father without hesitation. She was innocent. When they bring the surgical consent forms, I sign without doubt. Father, not biological, but choosing to be. Rachel's released 3 days later. She can walk now, slowly, one hand pressed to her still swollen belly. We meet in the hospital's family conference room, neutral territory with uncomfortable chairs and fluorescent honesty. Jake came to see her, I tell her, her face drains of color. What did he? Nothing. He looked. He left. He won't be back. How do you know? Because I'm her legal father. Because fighting me would take years and money he doesn't have. Because sometimes the best thing a parent can do is step away. I slide papers across the table. Speaking of which, she reads the custody agreement Ms. Chen prepared. Primary physical custody to me. Supervised visitation for her. Sundays only. Location of my choosing. Child support waived in exchange for limited visitation. Clean, surgical, fair. You want to take her from me? I want to raise her in a stable environment. You lied to me, to Jake, to everyone. You're still recovering physically. You have no job. You quit when you got pregnant, remember. I have insurance, stable income, and haven't been lying to everyone for 7 months. David, please. You can see her Sundays, supervised. The words hang between us like a blade. Rachel reads the agreement again, tears dropping onto the pages. This is cruel, she whispers. No, cruel would be disappearing with her, moving across the country, changing our names. Cruel would be telling her mother's dead, the way you told Jake I was. This is generous. This is me ensuring Emma knows her mother, despite everything. What about us? Our marriage? What marriage? You killed that in January when you chose Jake. when you decided I was better off dead in your story than deployed in reality. She signs the papers with shaking hands. Then the divorce papers. Then the amended birth certificate application, removing her as primary parent, making me sole custodial guardian. I loved you, she says one last time. I love you too. Past tense. Emma comes home with me 6 weeks later, after her heart surgery. The procedure went perfectly. Jake's family medical history helped the surgeons prepare. She'll need follow-ups, but the prognosis is excellent. The house feels different with just us two. I've packed Rachel's things, stored them in the garage. The nursery's the same, but somehow lighter. Mrs. Peterson from next door offers to help. She raised 4 kids and knows the single-parent struggle. Just knock if you need anything, she says, holding Emma while I fumble with the car seat. Even just a shower or a nap. The first night alone with Emma terrifies me. Every sound makes me jump. Is she breathing? Is that cry normal? Why won't she sleep? But we survive it. Then the next night. Then the next. Sunday comes. Rachel's first supervised visit. We meet at the park, public and neutral. She looks better, color back in her cheeks, wearing clothes that fit her deflated body. Hi, sweet girl, she coos to Emma, who doesn't recognize her after 6 weeks. Emma cries, reaching back for me, the only parent she knows. She needs time, I tell Rachel. Be patient. Rachel nods, tears streaming. She holds Emma carefully, like borrowed treasure, talks to her about anything, everything, nothing. I sit on the next bench, present but distant, guardian of this broken arrangement. Thank you, Rachel says as I pack Emma back in her carrier, for letting me see her. She deserves to know her mother, even if her mother doesn't deserve her. It's cruel, but truth often is. 3 months pass. Emma thrives despite her rough start. Her green eyes brighten, focusing on my face during bottles. She smiles, real smiles, not gas. She laughs when I make ridiculous faces during diaper changes. The divorce finalizes on a Tuesday. I sit in my car afterward, holding the decree, waiting to feel something. Relief, sadness, freedom. Instead, I feel empty. 7 years reduced to legal documentations and divided assets. But then my phone buzzes. Mrs. Peterson sending a photo she took yesterday. Emma and me at the park, her laughing as I push her stroller. We look happy. We look like a family. A different family than I'd planned, but family nonetheless. That night, I start a new photo album. Just Emma and me. No lies, no pretense. The first photo, her sleeping in my arms the day she came home. The second, her first real smile. The third, us at her first doctor's appointment, where I signed father without hesitation or doubt. We don't leave, I tell her as she falls asleep against my chest. Even when it's complicated, even when biology says we're strangers, we don't leave. That's what real fathers do. She sighs in her sleep, tiny hand gripping my finger. No wife, no betrayal, just my daughter. The journey here broke everything I thought I knew about love, trust, and family. But holding Emma, watching her grow, being the father she needs, this rebuilds me into something stronger. Not the man I was, but the father I choose to be. Her green eyes don't remind me of betrayal anymore. They remind me that love isn't about genetics or blood types or DNA percentages. Love is about showing up, signing forms, midnight feedings, supervised Sundays at the park, choosing to stay when everyone would understand if you left. Welcome home, my daughter, I whisper to sleeping Emma. Welcome to our perfectly imperfect family of 2. The new photo album sits on the coffee table, slowly filling with truth. No torn pages, no edited funerals, no lies about death and widowhood. Just a man who chose to be a father and a little girl with green eyes who made that choice worth everything. Share your story of chosen family below. Sometimes the strongest bonds aren't blood. They're built from the daily decision to love against all logic. Sometimes the family we choose is stronger than the family we're born into. Sometimes green eyes are exactly what brown-eyed parents need to see the world differently. We don't leave, even when we should, especially when it's hard. That's what real fathers do.